Before we dive into the actual work, let's set up our Tmux terminals first. For this tutorial, I will be using my custom Tmux key bindings. I have remapped the Tmux leader key from Ctrl-B to Alt-O, as I find it easier to press. I have also made a few other modifications to simplify managing windows, sessions, and panes. If you are interested, you can find my Tmux configuration in the documentation. Alright, let's launch a new terminal and go back to our project directory, CI/CD pipeline, project. Let's launch the development shell, nixdevelop, and launch Tmux with a new session named dev shell. Now let's create another session called SSH. First we have to create a new one by pressing Ctrl-Alt-C, and let's rename it to SSH. SSH. Go back to previous session. Now, if I accidentally close this terminal, we don't have to worry about it, because Tmux is actually running in the background. Here is the proof. I will open a terminal and do process ID of Tmux. So here we have our Tmux actually running in the background. But how do we get our sessions back? We can do Tmux and enter, but here's the problem. If I list our sessions, we can see that a new session called 2 is created. We don't want this behavior. So I will close this session. Yes. And close the terminal again. And we'll launch again a new terminal. Unfortunately, I couldn't find the Tmux way of doing this, but we can use a for loop for that. For session in Tmux list sessions with the name of session, do Tmux attach session, the name of session, and done. If I list our Tmux sessions, as you can see, we don't have a new session. But I don't want to write that for loop each time I want to connect to my sessions. So what we do? We can create a function for that in our bashrc or zshrc. I will show you my configuration, and you can use that example inside your configuration. Let's launch Emacs. I will open up my zshrc. And here is the function. I called it t. It will run this for loop each time you called t from terminal. So let's exit the editor and rename this window to Emacs and create a new window and rename it to General. So our Tmux sessions are ready for development. Alright, now in this section we are going to install Proxmox finally. So open up your browser, go to Downloads and Proxmox VE, click on ISO and right click and copy the link. Go back to Terminal and let's create a new directory called IAC, which stands for Infrastructure as Code. Make directory IAC and change directory into it. Now do wget and paste the link. So that is going to download our ISO file. Alright, now let's create the virtual machine from this ISO. Now let's launch our Virt Manager. Create a new virtual machine. type Debian 12, forward, give all the RAM, give all your CPU cores, forward, let's make it 128 gigs, forward, change this to Proxmox, and customize configuration, finish, go to memory, enable shared memory. This option will make virtual machines use less memory. Click apply and begin installation. Click on the window, press enter, make it full screen. Now let's read everything here. I'm just kidding. Let's click I agree, click on options and make maximum root directory 16 gigs. Click OK. Next, I will select my country. Now let's change that keyboard layout again. Istanbul is fine. Let's click next. Let's enter password. I will leave my email. Click next. Let's name it pve.local. And here's the important part. You have to make it 199. Click next and install. Okay, Proxmox is installed. Let's access the web UI. Our web browser will complain because it's an HTTP connection while it uses HTTPS. Click access. Now log in, root, and give the password you just set up. And Proxmox is ready. Let's go back our terminal. Let's close that virtual machine window and this one, and just remove the Proxmox ISO. Unlike other Linux distributions, there is no official NixOS cloud image other than for AVS. To run NixOS on Proxmox as cloud image, we need to first create a Cloud-Init compatible NixOS image on our local machine. But luckily, this incredible person created a special flake for us. I pulled it and modified it a little bit. Alright, let's get this NixOS cloud image flake. Go to my documentation. Yes, this is what we are looking for. So take this flake, just double click, and let me just open this, double click, Control A, Control C. Let's go to our Emacs session. Let's launch Emacs first. Now let's go ahead and create a flake.nix file inside IAC directory, flake.nix. Let's just paste the content. Alright, the most important part of this file is that we are setting up a trusted user, setting up some networking, and initialize the Cloud-Init service with some information like my username, etc. Just save that file and go back to general. Alright, let's build this image. Nix build image, enter. We have an extra bracket here. Let's try again. So it's building our NixOS cloud image. Alright, the image is built. Let's see if it exists. Let's test the result directory. And here is our image. Now, let's move that image from result directory to this directory. Oh, we cannot move it, so let's try to copy results. NixOS image. Oops. Permission denied. What is going on, man? Oh. NixOS. Yes. Okay. It's copied. It's actually copied. Anyway, let's convert this QCO image to a raw image. QEMU image convert NixOS QCO image output raw to NixOS IMG. Yes. So let's copy that NixOS image into our Proxmox server. NixOS.image root at 192.168 into root directory. Just enter the password of our Proxmox server. Alright, let's go to SSH session. And now let's connect to our Proxmox server using SSH. SSH root 192.168.122.199. And let's finally create the template virtual machine from this image. Now do the qm create, let's give it a ID, give this machine some memory. And CPU cores, 2 is enough. Give it a name, call it NixOS Cloud-Init. Let's set up some networking, Word.io, and bridge is going to be VMBR0. Now enter. Now let's import the image NixOS image into our local LVM storage, which is inside our Proxmox file system. Alright, let's just do the qm set 999 SCSI hardware Word.io, SCSI PCI, and SCSI 0 to local LVM. So let's check the image name. Let's go to our Proxmox server, click on the local LVM, click on the VM disks. So its name is VM999 disk 0. VM999 disk 0, and press enter. Let's mount this Cloud-Init image on boot. And make it bootable. finally, let's create the template. Now go to the Proxmox Web UI, click on this template, click on the Cloud-Init, and disable that upgrade packages. Just double click and untick this. So finally our NixOS Cloud-Init template is created, and Terraform can create multiple virtual machines from it.